I don't know. Eventually, we're going to have to come up with a better intro.
Yeah.
So anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome back to Couches on the Couch episode. I don't remember because I forgot to check before we started this. I think it's 5 or 6. I think it's 5, right? Because in the last one that we did the little skit, it was
6.
like 4, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out when we upload this. Anyway, excited to be back finally. We did take last week off. More so out of like, we just had a lot of stuff going on as school restarted and all that. And now we came back from winter training, or from winter break. So anyway, yeah, so let's catch up. So the last time we met, we did a fall recap, and now we are into our spring season. We are, I think 3.5-ish weeks from conference.
Yep,
It's terrifying. Anyway, so what have we been doing? So we came back January 5th. We came back to campus on that Sunday, started our winter training. This year we were just on campus the 6th through the 10th. Yep, the 10th, and then we competed on the 11th. We swam against Pacific University on the 11th. It was meat. Again, I'm not trying to take anything away from Pacific, but they have a very, very small team, and it was, coming off of a really hard week of winter training, it was perhaps it's not that it wasn't our best athletic performance, but it was flat.
Yeah, and wasn't that same excitement, I think, just with us being so tired and then having to travel, and everybody was just kind of like, ugh. I think they also just really wanted to go down the slides and weren't allowed to.
Yeah, they weren't allowed. Yeah, they weren't allowed to go down the slides. And it's also hard, right? Because the last meet that we had was Bruin Invite, right? The huge cap to the fall semester, and then when you come off of that 8 weeks later, almost, I think. No, sorry, not 7 weeks. 6 weeks later. I don't know why that math mattered. 6 weeks later, right? Like, that's just very hard, right? Our last dual meet was almost 2 months ago from there. So yeah, I agree. But again, we swam well, some good times. And then that next week, which was last week, school started. So they're back into their routine. They've only got to get through 5-ish weeks of classes and practice. And I don't say that of like that's impacting swimming in any way, but it's more just, you've got 5 weeks of what hopefully isn't academically stressful, balanced with what is probably athletically pretty stressful, right? With conference, at least, if the last 10 years are any indicator for me, at least being here, that, they're definitely going to start getting stressed around this time, as at this point, we've got 3 dual meets left, Lewis and Clark, UPS, and Linfield. And then we go to conference, so it's like the opportunities are running out to try to perfect things. And then, of course, this as a distance coach better than anyone probably, but as they're tired and not, quote unquote, performing where they should be because they're comparing conference time, so when they're fully rested, fully suited to how they feel now, and I'm sure that's tough. But but let's talk about last week. So last weekend we swam Southwestern Oregon Community College again. This time we put out a more full lineup, right? I didn't let them pick their events. Still swim a modified full event lineup, so we did 50s and 100s instead of 100s and 200s, short relays on both ends. And it was good, right? Like, let's talk about the men's meet first. The men lost. If you look at the score, lost handily. And again, that's nothing against our men's team, just very small. SWAC is a very, very good team. I suspect they will finish second behind Indian River at their nationals again this year.
They did improve from the first time we swam them, though.
Yeah, and so that's good. Yeah, and so I think, but that's so hard, right, for them to think about. Like, that was back in mid-October, and our sport, when you're coming up in it, you are so focused on what have you done for me, or what have I done right now, like just last week or weeks before, or what did I do at Bruin? Again, when I was suited and partly rested. And so I think that's always a good reminder for them, again, especially for distance where maybe they aren't feeling great, but for our sprinters too, maybe they feel a little muted right now and they don't have that pop, to remind them of, like, as long as we're making improvement, we're doing the right things.
Yeah, I think sometimes they forget that 2-a-days is not what we do all the time, and so to go that for a week and then back to our regularly scheduled programming, like a lot of I should be is happening sometimes, and it's like, no, you should just be swimming.
Right, they're shitting on themselves.
They're shitting on
right.
themselves.
Brittany told us not to do that.
Shout out.
Brittany Kofender is a Willamette alum. She played women's basketball here, but she's been doing some mental performance stuff with our team, and that was one of the things that we talked about with her right back when we talked about confidence. Like when you should do something, it's like, oh, you're shitting on yourself, and you really shouldn't should on yourself in public or really anywhere. But yeah, the men swam well. You know, again, swam some tough races. Probably the last opportunity to do individual 50s of the year. You know, they'll get some in the relays, but really we've got 2 long formats and 1 short format left. What that means is long format is the 200s of strokes, the long relays, the 200 IM and the 1,000. Short format is kind of the complete opposite. Hundreds of strokes, short relays, 400 IM and mile. We have 2 of the long formats, 1 of the short formats left. So again, we're coming up on the end here. Women's meet, great. They won again. So that's always exciting. You know, their women are undefeated in 2025, which is cool. We'll see how long we can keep that going. You know, it'll be a good meet against Lewis and Clark. I'll save that because that's looking forward. So, but going back to SWAC, yeah, I mean, they swim well. You know, again, it's not that it's nothing stand out, but nothing jumped out as like overly exciting. Other than Kalima, one of our first years, she really wanted to swim the 1,000. She jumped into Sonora's lane while Sonora was still swimming, but she quickly got out, realized it wasn't a relay. So shout out to Kalima for wanting to relay that race though. Yeah. You can go look at it on the live stream if you really want to. It's one of the first events that we did. Technically, this is the second event. Sorry, Kalima. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just like an overall solid meet, right? Yeah. Overall solid meet for us, so it was good. Let's look forward, right? So let's look forward to this Friday, Lewis and Clark. We're home. Lewis and Clark coming off very, very, very good mid-season. Their men will be very tough. They only have one more men's team swimmer than we do, but their men are very talented, like literally top to bottom. I think those guys are going to have a really good conference. I'm really excited to see what they can do with such a small team, like see how high they can go up the ladder. What that means for us is it'll be very tough. You know, I think what we will need to come out of this meet is individually, did we do what we needed to do? Did we work on our race strategies? Were we working on pushing the tempos where we needed to be, or pushing our pacing? And then we make them work for it, right? I think that's always the thing. If we know we're going against a team that is on paper better than us, we're going to make them work for the win and not letting them win because they're better than us on paper. Because you never know on the day.
Yeah, you never know. They could swim a real off, and you may be real on.
Right. Yeah. And then the women's meet, again, on paper, it looks like we should beat them with our depth and our top end talent. But again, their top end is really, really good. And as we know in a dual meet, really good top end talent can win you a meet. You know, I think we saw that earlier this year against Pacific Lutheran, where they beat us in the dual, but we beat them pretty handily at Bruin. And so it won't be something where we can go in and just assume based on our numbers we're going to win. You know, we have to show them respect and make them try to earn the upset, and because they're going to make us try to earn that win, right? And so I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. Lewis and Clark's always a fun meet. And then the next day on Saturday will be our senior meet, so where we will honor our 8 graduating seniors and 1 potentially early graduating junior. We're gonna add him into the mix just in case he does decide to go early. He's in our dual degree program for physics and engineering, and so he's debating on if he's going to do that. And so you know, we'll do it. And if he decides to stay, fantastic. If he decides to leave, well, then we made sure we honored him. So the UPS, that'll be a very tough meet. That's our one short format meet where at least I think we maybe stack up with UPS a little bit better. Specifically on the women's side, I think we stack up a little bit better. The men's side is going to be a very tough meet. It'll be like Whitworth kind of all over again for the men. UPS and Whitworth are pretty much the 1-2 teams on the men's side. So, you know, make them earn it, make them earn their win, but swim hard and support each other through it. You know, again, on the women's side, they are on paper better than us. I think this is, hopefully it could potentially be closer than it's been in quite a while, but again, we'll see. We'll see how they're going. We'll see how we're going. But yeah, if any parents are watching this, I think I've already sent the email, but we are going to do our senior recognition after the meet this year. So if you're watching the live stream early and you're like, oh my gosh, like how come it hasn't started? It's because senior recognition will be at the end. So yeah, so that's always fun to look forward to. And then we'll talk about this next week, but then the week afterwards will be our final meet against Linfield, and we'll be at Linfield. So we'll talk about that next week, though. I don't know. I guess we didn't start off with, did you do anything fun over break? Maybe we could do that to wrap the video.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, how was break for you, right? We had about 24 days off, the team and Sydney and I. And so, yeah, what was it like? That's probably close to the longest we ever took. Normally it's closer to like the high teens or maybe 20 days off.
It was nice. Went home to LA with my partner, Derek. We got to go explore LA, be with my parents, check out the vault at the Peterson Museum, so the auto museum in LA, which is like, my dad and him were just hours. They could have spent hours there. Mom and I were just like, cool car. More interested in like the cars that had been in movies was our thing, but it was nice. And then just being able to actually spend New Year's here. It was the first time since I've been in Oregon that I got to spend New Year's here, which was cool. Got to go to one of the assistant basketball coach's house and celebrate the East Coast New Year's at 9 p.m.
It's important. 9 p.m. West Coast.
West Coast time. And yeah, go to bed before midnight and just relax. Just played video games and read books, and that was it.
Excellent.
Didn't really do much.
Yeah, I mean, break was good. Obviously, got to spend a lot of time with my kids, especially the youngest one being born in late October. Not something that I've gotten to do a lot, again, just because of where our breaks fall when we go down to San Diego. This is the first time I didn't spend New Year's in San Diego in since the pandemic, and even before then. So that was fun, again, to get to be a family. Also celebrated East Coast New Year's. It's just the best way to go. You know, there's no reason to stay up past 9:30. Well, I really like 10:30, but again, I'm not staying up till midnight. I'm sorry, it's just not my jam. But yeah, just relaxing, hanging out, getting stuff done around the house that felt like it was piling up or really backed up. My wife and I, ever since the little one was born, really have been putting off a lot of like large cleaning or organizing of things, and so just the house started to feel cluttered. So got a lot of that done, which was really nice. But I am excited to be back. And again, it was that. I'll be honest, for me, it was tough with the transition that last week, our first week back 2 weeks ago, being away from the kids so much, and of course Gloria being away from them so much. But it was, like we just talked about, rationalizing it. It's like it's only a little bit longer. I am going to take some paternity leave in March and April.
Make it
to kind of encourage. Huh?
Make it late March so I can take the week of my birthday off.
I don't know about all that. We'll have to see. I am going to stagger it though, so I will be working / on leave as we do that. But that's a conversation you and I probably need to have sooner rather than later. But
I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
I know. You just want to take it out. I got you. So anyway, but yeah, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of rambling a little bit, but thanks again for checking in. We always appreciate you all watching. We'll be back next week with a recap of how Lewis and Clark and Puget Sound went. We'll try to get those scores. We'll repost any scores that the official Bearcat Instagram puts out, but we'll post ours early that next week. But yeah, again, thanks so much for watching. We only got a few more of these while we're in season, so it is an exciting time. About to stressful but exciting time for sure. So we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
We really got to work on our sign-offs.
Yeah.